Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
It's the day of the mission. We go through our mission plan, I'll grab the formula while the others buy me time. Which sounds like a decent idea, I can see it going awry, but we'll just have to see how it goes as we head to the location. It's a massive gathering. I'm quite shocked as Hayes made comments on how sharp all the soldiers look. Hulkenberg tells us that they're some of the most elite unit of the military until Luis's accession, and now they're his personal guard. Strhol comments on the figures that might give us grief aren't here. That's when they show their furry ears. Fidelio comments on our tight stances, saying you should loosen up a little, asking what's got us so wound up. Strhol replies that we're simply feeling a tad intimidated by the guard, but Basilio tells us that we'll just have to get used to it if we'll have to if we want to survive. Fidelio asks about Neris' location. I tell him that he's at the runner. Personally, I think it's for the best. He's there, I can imagine him opening up after a single pint. But Fidelio responds, as you like I suppose. Strhol asks about Juna, as we're informed the poor girl's lost her voice, commenting on few being able to refuse Luis's invitation and live to tell it. Basilio asks if we're looking forward to chatting with her and starts to tease Fidelio a little. That's when Luis makes his grand entrance, coming directly to me being so glad I could make it. I thank him for his warm welcome, as he says for us to enjoy ourselves, as we are new comrades in arms. He expects it, and while the drinks and the cups have not reached their heads, he wants to get the formalities out of the way, introducing me to his people as a young candidate that brought great shame to Forden. And he was thusly surprised to learn that I did it all just to win his regard, calling it bold, as I'm left to swear my loyalty to the man. He then tells me to enjoy the party. It is mine, after all. Leaving, that's when Strhol gives me the cue to leave. But Glodell is at the exit. I guess he would be a problem, but Hayasme thankfully comes in for the save, mocking the size of the monster he brought, as I get going to the Skyrunner, now rank 23 with the Populist. We arrive and it seems that there's a guard standing in front of Luis's room. I guess it would make sense. There'd be at least one person, but we're on the clock. That's when another guard starts talking to him. I note a few things in their talk, something about an alarm and extra security, but more importantly, someone has locked the bridge. Not only that, but apparently Juno was spotted in there with her superfan. That worried the guards since that's Luis's girl, at least from what I've been told, as they leave, giving us a chance to open the door. But alas, I guess that extra security is here to bite us in the ass, as we can't enter his personal quarters.
Now we just keep up the charade as long as we can.
Might I have a... Strhol, if I recall. I've heard you're a titled noble. Yet you stand behind a commoner candidate.
I stand with a candidate who's proven he has power and potential. Besides, I'm a noble in lineage alone. My house no longer stands.
Where are you from?
Have you heard of a village called Harlia?
Certainly. It was the first village to be destroyed by the human menace.
Only because help never came. They requested reinforcements, but the army wouldn't spare a single soldier. Are the rumors true that that was by your decision?
That is true.
But why?
To save this country.
Strhol!
The Fool King and the fossils of the Sanctus Church refused to face the threat looming over this country. An adequately dramatic demonstration was required. They say you could see Harlia burning as far as the palace battlements. Confronted with that balefire, those old men could no longer deny the human threat.
Your balefire cost hundreds of innocent lives.
Do I offend you? Are you repulsed? Surely it helps you realize that you can protect nothing without power. The natural blessings you enjoyed are not infinite. Few have the luxury of living with no need to struggle and harm just to survive. But our nation would have you believe such hardship is born of moral weakness. So the punished are punished further. They die in silence like with their lives. Some will fall, some will triumph, and therein is true equality forged. I am not one to stand idly by as history is wrought. All their sacrifices, and yours, shall not be in vain. A valuable conversation. I do hope you enjoy the party.
Strhol.
Humblest apologies. He's a young heart and hasn't yet learned to temper his words.
No worries. Truth told, I'd take him over the sycophants.
That brat's nowhere to be seen. Where'd he slip off to? He couldn't have. Let's go have a look around, Hector.
We spend a few moments thinking of ideas of getting in there, but there's not much we can do until the Skyrunner starts to take off by the sudden movements of the ship. We enter outside to check. Big mistake, as with the sudden movements of it, I'm blown away. I tried to get up, but I was blown away even further. It was by pure luck that I was still on the Skyrunner. We have little options at this point, and I refuse to return empty-handed after coming so far, so I jump on my sword and get going. It was by pure dumb luck that I didn't fall to my death after calling it close so many times today, but personally, I call it 100% skill. Anyways, we're able to get to the entrance and we've got no choice but to enter, as we'll likely be blown away at any time. And we're very lucky as we're now in Luis's personal quarters. We're now given a golden opportunity to find it as we search around all the obvious places, finding less than interesting things. That's until we came across a familiar book. Sure enough, it's the novel I've been reading. It seems that Luis has one too. Gallagher is shocked, asking why he would have it, since there shouldn't be many copies left. I call it a coincidence, perhaps it may be fate. We cross paths, but who knows, as Gallagher is unsure he gets the message. But that helped us out as it showed the thing that Gallagher saw, a massive list of magic formulas, but we're unsure which one could cure the prince. But it doesn't matter as we're put in a precarious position as Juna enters the room, asking what we're doing here. I say that we're looking for something, she's shocked we weren't hiding it, but Gallagher asks what she's doing here. Juna calls her the fairy from before, and that Luis has given her permission to come and go from these quarters. But Gallagher asks about her so-called sore throat, knowing she lost her voice, but it sounds fine to her, realizing that she snuck into here like last time, calling her a repeat offender. Juna lets out a sigh, commenting on losing her touch, as she corners me on the bookshelf and tells me that if I remember that she said that she'd keep her eyes on me. Well, she's gotta admit, she likes what she sees, asking me to keep this a secret, and she'll of course keep it a secret about me too, as we're accomplices in this now. I ask her for her plan, but she tells me that it will be mutually beneficial, and then asks that Gallagher cases the place first and leaves me to slink in after, calling us pretty sharp. Gallagher gets mad at being insulted, saying her name is Gallagher. That shocks her, seeming to know what we're here for. That's until...
Someone's coming!
Well, well. The occupant's absent, but the door's locked. I see why the guards are in a panic.
There's no use hiding. This is quite a turn-up, isn't it? The runtime might have figured for a rat, but even Milord's favorite little songbird? What a scandal! And when he hears it from me, maybe I'll finally get some recognition around here.
It seems I've underestimated that man, as the plan is starting to fall apart, like Gallagher said, but Juna just calls him an idiot, as he could have locked us in here. But she informs us that she can handle this, just saying that the box we found has the formula to break the curse. She knew we were here for it, saying for us to take it and run, as she leaves to chase Glodell. Gallagher asks who even is she, but she'll tell us if we survive this. I guess that's fair, as we give chase after her, which was a good idea as I hear her screams out, which I follow the sound of as Glodell has taken her hostage. She calls us soft as he admits he didn't expect us to come and save her, but he baited Juna nicely, after all, knowing that this means that we're working together, thinking there must be a good story behind this. But he wants justice for his name being dragged through the mud, calling for his dog Hector, which has been mutated by the Melancholia crystals. Juna asks him why he would hide such an amazing talent. He tells her to shut up, knowing he isn't strong. He isn't some towering war hero. He's just got his smarts. He knows he can only win this through foul play, wanting to be worshipped, but every time he wants someone surpass him in everything, which includes a bastard Luis. He's been a thorn in his behind, but it all ends starting today. He'll offer our heads on a silver platter, and then one day, he will be the rightful ruler.
Oh my, you're pathetic.
I told you to shut your damned mouth! Go, Hector! Don't move! That goes for you too, fairy. Unless you'd rather see her pretty little neck bleed.
What do we do? If we're not careful about this, Juna might...
Spaghetti them!
No. Isn't there anything we can do?
You like that? Who's your king now? I am!
You let your dog do your fighting. You're such a disgrace. He has no pets here. So what's the matter? Are you too scared to fight him alone?
A duel? Have it your way. Come then, we'll do this right. I am Glodell, and you will kneel before me as your king. So, who are you to me?
I am the one who would save this country!
Well, that worked better than I expected. This is bad. That guy is near the top of the candidate rankings. That means the royal magic will make him invincible to us.
You have the right of it. You fell for it. She brought you straight to me. Now I have you, and I'll ensure your suffering is long and painful. But see reason. Juna, if you take my side, I might be persuaded to spare you. Am I not worthy of your affection? I'm more of a man than that bastard Luis could ever be!
Over my dead body! I am Juani's sickness. I am no one's trinket. My life is my own to protect, and I will accept nothing less. What? It worked? Well, you're not invincible.
Damn you! What's going on here?
Let me help. Your powers have intrigued me from the start. You and your friends. You call it an archetype, right?
What?
I thought as much. Surprising, though. I'd written them off as a myth. Not even my sister got close. Still, now that I've seen their power a few times, maybe I can do it myself.
Very well, O lodestar who wanders in sorrow. O thou anguished traveller who hath borne the weight of parting from the start. Henceforth, thy fears and insecurities become thy light. Thou art the brilliant star that shall illuminate the king's road. Now, awaken!
Look at me! What you see now is my commitment to my song! Behold, my voice rises from the depths of my heart!
How does she have the same power? She's just a damn singer!
Never underestimate a singer! Every song is a burden, the weight of a lifetime. I have sung 1,000 songs. I've known their power my whole life. Whereas all you've ever been is a lackey. My music is lost on you. Listen and learn!
Do it! Chew them up! Tear them limb from bloody limb!
I see. So this is the power of an archetype. All it takes is a change of mask, and I can be whatever I want. Poetic, really? Especially for me, that's just as well. You can lend me your strength too.
This isn't the kind of thing you can just imitate. You know about...
Not much now. I hope you've had your fun, because you're about to pay for it in full.
Shut up! Just shut up! I'll crush you with my own hands! A duel!
It seems Juna has now got the same power as us, and has in fact been learning about it on her own time, so that helps us out a ton. But there's not too much to say about this fight. The poor bastard Glodell is more of a tutorial fight than a boss. I mean, he dealt damage, sure, but if I'm being honest here, all I really needed to do was just make sure my healing was done every turn, and then eventually he'll go down. And sure enough, he did, with Juna dealing the finishing blow.
I call upon a royal soul!
Help me! I give! Please, I'll not say a word about you sneaking in. Just spare my life, I beg you.
What do we do? If we let him run off, he's obviously going to rat us out.
But killing him would give us a lot to explain. Maybe we should work out some kind of deal.
Idiots! It's the oldest trick in the book! Why? What's happening? No. I'm the future king. I can't breathe. Why?
Is he dead? So the magic protected us. But why now?
What the hell?
Dead? You lot kill him?
No! He's the one who attacked us! And then the king's magic did all that to him!
That the truth of it?
Oh, he snuck into Count Luis's private quarters. Must have gotten in with all the confusion of takeoff, I suppose.
Right? And why did the bloody thing take off like that? We could hardly believe our eyes.
Oh, well, you know me and my indulgences, boys. Perhaps I got a bit carried away, but we're in Brilhaven. I simply had to see the night view over the city.
You having a laugh?
Anyway, then Glodell went from crass to violent. That's when he stepped in to help, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right!
Crikey, Lady Juna, I'm sorry. Sounds like you've had a right awful evening.
Hold on. You were supposed to be at the soiree, weren't you? That's a lot of ground to cover, isn't it?
Why? One would think you don't believe us, Fidelio.
Well, no, just...
Suppose that means the rat was Glodell. Lord Louis said we got a traitor in our midst is all. We came by thinking to catch him.
Is that so? Well, hadn't you better report back? Shall we make what we can of this party together?
Your throat all better then, Lady Juna?
Yes, much better. He gave me such a thorough examination after all. He took good care of my throat. If you'd come a bit earlier, I might have asked you to do it.
Really? Hardly matters to me.
Anyway, I'd say this bears reporting. Let's leave the guards to their cleanup and get out of here.
Yeesh, looks could kill.
We're left to face Luis about all of this. He asks that Glodell was the rat, and he's been executed already? Juna says it's a shame. Fidelio says that we were the only ones who left the soiree early, and by the sounds of it, Glodell overstepped and he had to fight them. But Luis thinks it's the other way around. Fidelio agrees, as Dead Man can't speak, but Fidelio knows that Glodell was a right profile candidate. He knew the king's magic protected him. The story is, he attacked them and then got killed by the magic, which means that I would be protected, which Luis confirms that he received a report that my faces emerge on the rook. It seems that my stunt has gained me some renown. Well, I guess luck is on our side this time. We played a very dangerous game, and thankfully it worked out. But Luis is left to wonder what Glodell wanted to do, asking what he was after. Juno was unsure, as Basilio wonders if he was under Forden's payroll, but he doubts it since he wanted to kill the Godot guy. But Luis thinks that it's no matter, Forden's been kind enough to get the people in a frenzy over this little race, so he'll just step in and reap what he's so graciously sowed. That's news to me. I didn't know he entered the race. He must have announced at the soiree. But from now on, Luis tells me that I shall serve as his eyes and ears. I understand that, as he thinks, we will see what scheme Forden will devise as the next task, and lets me enjoy myself in the city. I thank him as I get going.
Alright.
I got back to the runner and suddenly Juna comes barging in for some reason. She apologizes, thinking it's a tad late for introductions, asking if we haven't told them yet. That leaves us baffled, as Hulkenberg asks if she can assume that she's one of us, and she plans on to stand alongside Luis, but Juna seems to want to cut the pretend on being on Luis's side, as Gallica is left to ask her if she's the other agent Grius has mentioned. That name sounds familiar to her, asking if he was the man who perished at the Grand Cathedral. She apologizes and admits they kept the finer details confidential, so she didn't know who the other agent was, but knows the objective well, needing the curse to be lifted from the prince, and it can't be lifted by conventional means. So we gotta kill Luis or find the curse. Well, that's an interesting turn of events, as she comments that she never expected me to be so young, admitting if she didn't know to look out for a fairy named Gallica, she would have never expected it was me. Gallica is just shocked, never expecting her to be on our side, especially since they're, well, you know. But that's when she confirms that she wouldn't be caught dead in a place like that unless it was to rob him. He merely keeps her around because he likes her voice. He made that very clear from the start, but that's when Heisme asks why she would go this far to risk her life for a mere side job. She admits at first, merely coincidence. She tended to find herself in honored company and happened to be around where a resistance operative was doing some recon. Heisme asks if she was strong-armed, but she confirms she requested to join. Fate beckoned her, and she wouldn't have turned it away. That's fair enough. She just says that she had plausible reason to get close to Luis due to wanting to improve at her job, so it all worked out for everyone. That's quite shocking, all things just to grow. Gotta say, she's got brass balls. Neris agreeing with that statement, not surprised she's got a loyal fan base. But she thinks it's partly due to her heritage as an Adia, but singing is everything to her. To stir even a single soul, she would take that over 1,000 church accolades. But with that, she's going to stick close to Luis, so that they don't suspect her, and asks if I have any objections with that, but it's fine by me, as we've got another comrade on the battle against Luis. Something that shocks me and Gallica, but I guess the more the merrier, as our bond grows stronger. But with talks over, we need to get this formula solved. But we can't read this gibberish. Strhol remembers Rella being mentioned in the margins. Heisme and Hulkenberg seem to know her. Saint Rella, she was the one who they got help with the prince when he first felt the curse and saved him from certain death. But Strhol asks if she's the best healer. An attack happened a decade ago. The so-called saint looked his age. Juna tells us more about her being a prodigal talent and one of the most gifted at the Mage Academy. Even as a mere child, she outclassed her teachers with an igniter. Gallica asks if she knows her, but Juna is afraid she's out of our reach, since she works in the capital and we cannot leave without getting Luis's attention. Silly Juna, she doesn't know the classic technique of having the ability to fast travel in your Gauntlet Runner, but it shocks her nonetheless, asking how, but we tell her to pipe down as she might get spotted. She refuses as she's just amazed, but she's starting to get noticed by people, Heismay calling it the curse of fame. But regardless, Juna is going to show us the way, but Strhl's shocked. She's just playing a local doctor. Gallica is confused, but Hulkenberg explains that igniters aren't known for their use in healing, usually reserved for nobility, expecting her to merely serve the court. Strhol thinks that the level of altruism she's earned her title. As Juna starts the trek there, as Heismay asks for my thoughts on all of this. And personally, I don't see any harm in checking it out at least, so we get going. We arrive there as Rella apologizes as she's tending to some elixirs, and suddenly is shocked to see Juna. She apologizes for the sudden appearance, and Rella knows us from a stunt, and with an introduction she drops the bombshell of her being adopted sisters. Her family took her in, but not to tell us, the public doesn't know. Rella comments on how long it's been since they've met, apologizing, wanting to meet her after the opening ceremony, but Juna understands, as she's been attending to Forden until Briarhaven. Calling it all wonderful, such daft social climbing puts even their father to shame. Rella responds with a sigh to it all and greets us fully, wanting to know why we're here. That's when we drop the formula on her as she asks where we found this. Juna apologizes but asks her to share everything that she could without asking too many questions. She informs us that this is an inversion of a healing spell, otherwise known as a curse. That's when Hulkenberg decides to drop the secrecy and tell us that the formula is for the curse that slew the prince. The death of him was a tragedy, one she once paid for in full. So she will punish the treacherous snake responsible. She seems to know then that this was Luis's creation. Strhol says what happened with Joanna, we were simply trying to get closer to Luis, hoping she would understand. Rella responds that her penance was sincere, but it was Forden who chose a terrible punishment. It kind of scared her. However, she's relieved as she heard rumors about her and Luis, but knew she needn't give it a second thought. That's when they start having a sisterly back and forth, mainly just teasing about their pasts, but we eventually got back on track, and, well, that left us with some bad news, as the spell's effects are enduring and will persist to exist if the source doesn't fade. Compared to normal spells who consume magic released by the user, this one draws on Luis's magic itself. By the sounds of it, the only way we can stop the spell is with Luis's death. And sadly, she couldn't tell us how to lift the curse on this alone. This is quite unfortunate news, but Rella then asks me for something simply to keep Juna safe. But I reassure her that she's strong enough to keep herself safe. But she brings up a good point of her running into her own danger, which is fair, so I'll have to keep at least a little eye on her. But it's all still a shame. We're back to square one, heading back to the runner. Nara sees all of our glum faces, asking if he missed a funeral, but we're left to wonder what we can really do, especially with the king's magic protecting him for the most part. Even then, Heismay is unsure if we can beat him, but Strhol, the man he is, will not give up. The king's magic is not an absolute shield, we just gotta maintain our trust and eventually get the chance to kill him. But for now, we just gotta call it a night. As Juna's impressed we can house so many in the runner. Neris laughs as we complain of it being cramped. Hulkenberg's inner fangirl talks as she apologizes for it not being worthy of a diva, but she is fine with having a bath, so Neris takes her there, and we're left to call it quits for the night. Not before asking Neris what he's been doing the past god knows how long, and obviously it was about the Skyrunner, seeming to remember when he did flight experiments to prove his theories, of course. They failed horribly, but sadly, he got demoted. But between the two of us, the theory's done, wanting to incorporate it with the runner, but ever since he's been a tad afraid to actually do it, in case of another failure, seeing it as simply my teleportation magic can take us places we've seen, but for new horizons, we'll need to take to the skies. Well, you got this, man. Eventually, I just hope we're not going to be test subjects for the eventual crash, as I call it a night. That is what I would like to say, but I got fixated on reading my book, as Juna came also in the same position of not being tired, telling me that tomorrow she'll sneak the formula back in the room, knowing that even if he suspects us, he wouldn't know about the teleportation magic. I should probably give her the keys too, but she'll be honest, she thought she was fine doing all the infiltration, but she really wasn't. She finally, after all of this, she can see that she's utterly exhausted, and then thanks me for saving her behind, calling me lucky, as she's rarely this candid, but then notices the book I have, the forbidden text I mentioned in Luis's room, and decides that she would like to read a few pages, and I let her.
The prevailing culture of the world is one of freedom in all things. No faith, fealty, or philosophy enforces ideology. All are free to create, and all are free to embrace those creations. This culture's influence spreads throughout the world. It is even said that a song of peace was powerful enough to bring an end to war. Oh, how inspiring. It's hard to imagine that a single song could be so influential. I wonder what the world would be like if a song really could reach all people's hearts, no matter their status or tribe. We Nydia, we're all liars, you know. Everyone told us we were inherently worthless, just a fact of our birth. So I learned some glamours to make myself at least look valuable. This form, it's all just a fancy disguise, really. A gilded mask for the world to admire. Or not. No, do forgive me. That was all lies, lies, lies. I don't think it's necessarily a good idea to reveal yourself entirely, but you should always have the freedom to. If these new powers are to give form to my ideals, I want to create a world where we can appreciate each other's freedom. I'll make sure everyone hears that in my songs. No matter what happens,